Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Hi. This is episode 2 of Mallowmungo. I'm Diggy, Diggy Mungo, and
I'm Malibu. And
we don't call each other that.
we don't.
We don't. So my name is Daigo. I feel like we're Daigo, like the Street Fighter guy.
Yes.
Yeah. So I work on Lily Crown on Webtoon Originals. That is an action adventure series. And Steph, if you would introduce yourself.
Yeah. I'm Malibu. I also, my real name is Steph. So I work on a Webtoon original called Do You Remember? It's a mystery fantasy story. Those are my babies.
Yeah, and you can clearly see that Steph's handwriting is way clearer than mine. And thank God for that. Yeah.
I guess we could bring this up now. You're a lefty and I'm a righty.
Yeah.
So,
I have no idea. There's nothing I can add to that.
There's
literally nothing I could add to that. But yeah, my God. Thank God it's digital comics and I don't have to hand letter everything. Cause
oh God.
Holy fucking shit! Why was that a thing? Just use type. Just use type. Use font sets, bro. Anyway.
Oh, God bless.
So we are, for episode 2, we are narrowing it down to a single topic, which is making a webtoon. The truth of making a webtoon. So, we're just gonna talk about what we're working on right now and how we like fleshed it out to become like a comic, right? Like a proper idea that we're like working on. So, I mean, I could go first because there's literally no history. So we initially worked on a story together called Skate Fight 100, and that was also a Webtoon original, and it was a sports series. And when it was ending, I decided to come up with another idea, and that ended up becoming Lily Crown, and I'm working on that right now. I did recycle a few character designs from like my sketchbook, like the main character Lene, like right here, like she was kind of a sketch, like a character design that I had initially, but she looks very different now. Maybe I'll go through my sketchbook sometime, like pick them out. But otherwise, this is an idea that I had afterwards. I just wanted to do an action shonen series that was not like something that I like was closer to what I grew up reading, and then decided to like create a story around that. Steph, on the other hand,
my story.
Show your characters.
Yeah, these are my babies. So
and babies are right.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So my story started when I was in middle school. I got really into. Well, I discovered manga for the first time in anime probably when I was in about 5th or 6th grade. I mean, I grew up watching Pokemon, right? But like 5th and 6th grade was when I got into stuff like Naruto and Inuyasha and Fullmetal Alchemist. And from watching and reading those kind of series as a kid, I eventually developed OCs. And Amber, who's the protagonist of my story, was my very first OC that I developed. Really, I think it was mainly after consuming Soul Eater that I was like, I really want my own characters. And kind of where I started writing a little bit. I mean, the namesake of the character Amber is the same. The design is a little similar, but the story is completely different. But it's very interesting. I do have sketches of Amber that date back to 2008, 2009. So it's been in my head for a very, very long time.
Yeah. Wasn't it me? I was the one that was telling you to use those characters.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah.
Because we're done with our series, and I was like, I'm gonna make another story, and Steph's like, oh wow, I don't have anything. I'm like, yeah, you fucking liar.
Yeah. Well, if we can like speak upon some advice that maybe people spill on the internet.
Oh yeah.
There's a common piece of advice that I've actually seen circle around like different comic and artist communities, which is like,
Sure. I don't know where you're going with this. But...
Oh, you should know. Sure. It's basically people saying that like, oh, save your good ideas.
Oh, okay. Oh, absolutely.
Where they're like, oh, make like not like potentially like, oh, make some short comics and build your way up to like your really good ideas, that kind of stuff. Like just get stuff out there, which I think for some people it could work, but for me, because I've had this idea in my head for such a long time, I felt like I couldn't put 100% of my energy into something if it wasn't this idea.
Yes.
This story.
The thing that you're most passionate about.
Exactly. So that's why I was like, go hard or go home with this one.
Yeah. And I feel like that a lot more people need to hear that. It's not like, oh, little dummy, like just do the story that you want to do. Like because like I had to tell Steph to do so. Right? Like I had to tell Steph to be like, hey, these are your characters. Use them now.
Yep. Like,
right?
So I felt like if I didn't, I don't know. I mean, I'm really thankful that it got picked up by Webtoon, and I was able to, tell the story as an original. Yeah, that's where mine started.
Yeah. Don't mind me. I'm just drawing
Naruto.
I don't know if this is what he looks like. It's from memory.
It's from memory. I think that's pretty close.
It's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Holy fuck! I'm a genius. I'm so good. I have not touched Naruto since since it ended.
Since it ended.
I mean, I still watch YouTubers talk about Naruto. I still watch people talk about how Madara Uchiha versus like all the Sound 5 from the first arc.
I'm laughing because I don't really know.
Yeah, you don't know what the fuck I'm talking.
I know.
Okay, we're gonna have an episode about that because like
Yeah.
I love listening to people ramble about like anime or like manga series, and I'm like, cool, yeah, I love people talking about like One Piece. Steph watches nothing like that.
Oh, like people talking about things? I usually don't. I usually don't.
I don't like. You don't watch like people like movie critiques, which is fair because I feel like that stuff kind of gets stale after a while, especially when they're talking about movies that I don't really care about.
Yeah.
But like if it's media that you care about, like I don't know, like One Piece or whatever, I feel like you could definitely watch something like that while you work.
I could. I definitely could. I mean, I think with like our job with like writing and making a comic, I think input is very important. Like consuming different pieces of media.
That's what I'm telling you. Yeah.
Yeah, and I get that, but I don't know. There's something about hearing somebody ramble about anime or manga where I don't know. I mean, I haven't really tried it.
I mean, it is different because at least for me,
yeah.
Like now I am trying to go for like. I'm trying to work in a direction with stories that I definitely took inspiration from.
Yeah.
Like One Piece and like stuff like that. A lot of like shonen media that I grew up with. So I like hearing what like consumers, I guess, think about like said media. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. I mean,
so like people being like, this was a new good chapter of One Piece, and I like obviously we also read that same chapter that week.
Oh,
you know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, cool. People think this is a good writing thing.
Yeah.
Or like people think this is an ass pull and doesn't like where the story's going. Like I feel like stuff like that is why I get so intrigued, especially now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I think I've only watched those like long form analysis videos.
Oh yeah, I mean that too. But like I feel like people like chapter reviews and stuff are really really interesting,
insightful,
and yeah. I mean absolutely. It's usually people giving a summary, but a lot of people here do just kind of give opinions on like this was a story idea that I am a fan of, or like story decision, a writing decision that I think is not handled very well.
Right.
Like stuff like that. So like I do like seeing people talk about stuff like that, and it is very informative. So I recommend that for people.
Like watching or
Yeah, I don't know
listening to
about any
people
other
talk
genres
about.
of comics that people do that with, though. I don't know if people talk about. I feel like because I watch people talk about Shonen Jump the most, like that is the, I don't know, the biggest, easiest thing that people for you to find YouTube videos on.
I think just like look up stuff that you like. People talking about stuff that you like.
Was Naruto's hair orange or yellow?
It's yellow. No, it's like a. It's like a.
Okay, is this like close? I don't remember. He's not.
That's kind of close. Yeah. That's close. That's close.
I don't remember.
No,
okay,
you're
this
right.
is not even like the point of like this video, but
It's
okay,
not.
let me just finish this drawing.
I was just doodling Maka.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, I get a lot of. I mean, I've gotten a few comments about my series of people being like, "Oh."
Oh, so I got so many comments about you're like, Lil Nay is just female Luffy.
Yeah, I've seen those comments.
Yeah,
That's cute.
It's cute. I do like that, and yeah, I never mind. I thought I had something. I literally thought I had something, but it's gone.
No, it's okay. Well, if we're talking about like stuff that we like and how we use that input.
Oh yeah.
Towards our own things.
I mean that's true. So should we talk about writing?
Like our process?
Yeah. So should we just get into that, or?
Yeah.
Okay. So initial concept. We talked about. We just had hey, I want to do this, right? And like, I have these characters, and then we get the okay to like work on it, and then we just kind of figure out the story, right? So you have an initial like, did you start with the characters or story? Because you had the characters, and I think you had a different story and world that Amber and Wes and stuff were in.
They were. So for me, my writing process is I always start with the characters. And then I'll make like a concept based upon them usually. I usually don't start with the concept first. With writing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I come up with... maybe I come up with the idea first.
Oh, okay.
I think I do. Because initially for like Lil Nay, like I was trying to think of like what would be a cool like opening chapter. Because I am pretty bad. Or not pretty bad, but like I am very not confident with like how to start a story. I like thinking about like climax and conclusion, but like if it comes to like creating a story that, or creating an opening scene that is hype enough to like get to that point, I am not, like my confidence kind of ends there.
Right.
So I thought it would be cool as an idea for like a princess in a wedding dress to escape a castle.
Oh, just like conceptually.
Conceptually, that was a separate idea. And then there was another idea of like the crowns and like how the crowns actually like have this like power system and stuff. That was a separate idea. So
you kind of just combined.
I just combined them. I'm not sure if I did a good job.
I think you did.
I don't know. Because like if I look back on it now, I feel like I could have simplified it a lot more. I think it's a little cluttered, like the first three like chapters. At least the first episode feels a little cluttered. So I wish I could have cleaned that up a little more. But yeah, it was set up to like what I want the story to be, and I'm finally like kind of getting to the meat of it. Finally getting to like the part where I like wanted to. So the way I plan out stories, I guess, is what do you call it? Like initial concept, and then like I have I have plot point, and then like plot point, and I have like a bunch of ideas that are just kind of single ideas, and then ending. And for me, the writing process is I have these ideas. I have like, oh, I want this character to fight this character, or I want this like what do you call it, like plot twist to be here, and then like I want the ending to be like this. And for me, the writing process is filling in these gaps in between each plot point. So like, okay, how the characters would get to this point, and like how much information I need to have the reader know before this plot point like hits.
Right.
Like stuff like that. And that is like filling in these like gaps in between like set ideas is my main writing process. So there's like goalposts, and then for me, I have to like weave into each goalpost. That is my writing process.
Almost like making a puzzle fit, right?
Kind of.
Okay.
Kind of. Yeah. But like, it's like doing like a jigsaw puzzle, but like some of the pieces are already kind of like glued to the board. Right. You know what I mean? Yep. So I had to like, go in between, and like fill in each gap. So like, the glued in puzzle pieces like work.
Right.
Yeah. So that is definitely how I create story, and how Lily Crown is made.
Yeah, I think. Did you have a similar process with doing Skatefire?
Skatefire, we
like our series we did before.
So Skatefire, let me see. What was like the initial ideas?
Did we mention that in this one? I forget, but Skatefire 100 was the Webtoon original we did together.
Yeah.
Before working on our individual series. So,
yeah. I vaguely touched on it because I said I came up with Lily Crown.
Oh, right.
Like,
okay. Yeah.
Right after, or
okay.
we were like 5 episodes away from ending Skatefire.
Right.
And I was like, I wanted to do a different story, and then that's where I came up with Lily Crown. So Lily Crown is literally like a baby of a story. Like it was just born.
Right.
Yeah. And there's a.
But your process for Skatefire, would you say it was like similar?
Skatefire was very like open close, right? Like it was like these are the characters, and then this is like the thing that they're trying to stop. And we knew that it wasn't gonna be longer than 2 seasons. First of all.
Yeah.
So there was like. Okay, it is very similar. The process is very similar. I'm just gonna like draw it out. So how I showed this here. Like it says plot point and then plot point and then plot point and then like the ending. This is exactly how I'm working on Lily Crown, and also the same for Skatefire, where I had a bunch of ideas in the beginning. So like plot PP. So plot point and then like plot point, like I had a bunch of different ideas, right? Like I want characters to like go with these, and then like I want these two to like have a little skate competition. I have all these ideas on top, and then the ending was down here. And season 1 was pretty tight knit. I was like, okay, I want this character to go, like here, and then like this, and then I had a like everything was pretty like tightly like lined up. And then when it came to like making like 25 more episodes for season 2, that's when I had to like do this part where I had to fill in all these gaps.
I see.
Yeah. And that is very similar to the present idea of Lily Crown, because I have all these ideas in the beginning. I have not gone to all of them because there's a lot more ideas, but there is definitely a significant gap from the plot points I have and the ending that I wanted to get to.
I see.
Yeah. So I guess people will know, but I think I'm pretty good at filling in these gaps. So I'm really happy with season 2 of Skatefire.
I think season 2 came out really well. Yeah.
So
I think the execution of it all at the end was very good.
Yeah. Everyone should go read it.
Yeah, if you haven't, it's finished.
Yeah,
all
but
52 episodes.
We also didn't know what the fuck we were doing as a Webtoon series. Like work process wise, we definitely were not optimized properly.
Oh yeah, like using assets and things to optimize the process, really.
Yeah. Like, Steph learned to name her layers for Do You Remember? Because, goddamn, when we were working on Skate Fire and she was coloring for me, like, my inks. My inks, I would label, like, panels and then, like, line art. And there was, like, 5, like, layers tops. And then Steph will submit the colors, and I will open the file. First of all, it was very heavy. And the numbers, it was just a bunch of numbers. And then always on top, it was layer number 97. 90 something. And it was worse because she would duplicate a lot of them. So I don't even know. There's probably like 300 layers. Because there was like layer number 96 copied, like duplicate. Oops. Like copy 1, copy 2. So I don't know what was going on, but I hope that it's a lot more clear now.
Yeah, I just like when I was working as a colorist with you on Skate Fire, because Daigo basically like did all of the sketching and the line work in the thumbnailing stages. He did all that himself. And then once everything was like lined and beautiful, he would send it my way and I would like color and finish everything. For some reason, when I started Skate Fire, I thought it'd be a good idea to color all the characters on an individual layer. And that's why there was like so many freaking layers, because I was doing like a different kind of I don't want to say different rendering, but I thought I had to edit the lighting slightly on every character, even if they were all in the same scene for some reason. So I had a lot of like overlays and separation like that. Long story short, don't work like that. There's no reason to work like that, especially if you're trying to churn things out weekly. Like maybe if you're doing an illustration, sure, you're putting all your energy into it. Sure, you have all the time in the world potentially to do this illustration. But if you're trying to work on a time crunch and pump out like something like a freaking whole comic weekly, it just you have to cut corners wherever the heck you can, basically.
I mean, for us, it's like,
especially
we have a strict schedule for us, but like some people, you know, like if you're posting on Canvas or whatever, you can make your own schedule.
Yeah.
But I feel like sticking to a schedule definitely helps.
Oh, definitely.
You know what I mean? So, I guess also another thing is make a schedule for yourself. Like, I guess, like, give yourself a deadline of when you want your episode to go up.
Yeah.
So, there's that. So we talked about the initial ideas and plot points. So, the next step for us, I guess, for writing is chapter beats.
Yeah.
So, or episode beats. I don't know. I always get confused. I might go back and forth with chapters and episodes because Webtoon calls them episodes.
Yeah.
But when we read like One Piece every week, it's chapter.
Yeah.
So it's just gonna go back and forth. It's also fucking confusing because like episode is like TV, right?
It is. That
it's like
is
TV.
Confusing.
It's TV, but we watched Stranger Things like season 4, and Stranger Things calls it chapters.
Wait, I didn't even notice that. That's
yeah, do you know? So like, it doesn't matter. It's literally the same thing. If I go back and forth, it means the same thing.
Yeah.
So chapter beats.
Chapter beats.
Or episode
so
beats.
Yeah, once you have like a concept, if you have like a concept for a story going, and you're like, like I want to sit down and do this.
That's very interesting.
That is very interesting. Why are you covering your nose?
I'm not covering my nose.
You're covering it.
Okay.
Why did you do that? No, so I was going to say, once you have like a concept down and you want to start going with your story.
Yeah. I'm going.
You distracted me. What was I saying? Oh, you want to... The next step of the process is usually what they call like episode or chapter beats, which is you basically just beating out the story. Like you like
beating. I mean, yeah.
You like.
That's technically the correct term, I think.
Right, I guess like you make like bullet points of like sequence of events. Like, Mary is gonna go to the store and Mary is gonna.
You could give
this.
a better example than that. I mean.
Oh sure, okay. Well, let's take
okay, you could use Skate Fire or something.
Skate Fire for an example, like, I mean, for our chapter beats we wanted to.
No, I mean, first of
Yeah.
all,
Yeah, go ahead.
like chapter beats is I was like half like kind of listening, but like chapter beats means what like we write out what happens in each episode or chapter
in sequence.
so like
Yeah.
we will like we'll number it out. It's like episode ep 1 like on like a Word document or something, right? And then like 2, I don't know, like ep 50. Like, so for us, like we have seasons kind of planned out, so we write out like episode 1 to like episode like 50 or whatever, and then we would gently like jot out what happens in each episode. So I don't know how much you did, but for me, I did like 1 or 2 sentences tops. So like maybe like a small paragraph for each, and I'll just go to the next one. So like episode 1, castle scene, like Lil Nay is trying on her dress and then finds out that the king's an asshole. Like it's like I'll just have 1 or 2 sentences, and then like probably like an extra sentence if I want like a important plot point to happen there. Like I will introduce her in a dress, or like explain the crown, like what the crowns do or whatever. So I'll do that for each episode, and the reason why it's only a few sentences is because I like filling in the gaps while I work on the thumbs. So like when I'm like actually writing out the episode, when I get to like writing the episode for and making like 50 or so like panels for it, I like coming up with the dialogue as I thumb, and then that will just kind of like fill in the gaps, as you would say. So that is how I work, but some people like to write out everything, like a whole script for each episode, and I think that's fine too. But personally, I just like to deal with it when I get to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am pretty similar with writing out my chapter beats. The one thing that I probably do differently is that, like, if I'm writing out a certain episode where I'm like, okay, I want, like, very briefly, I want this, and this to happen in this episode. Sometimes, like, in between certain bullet points, if, like, a piece of dialogue comes out to me where I might not necessarily use the dialogue verbatim, but it's kind of the, like, feeling that comes to mind when I'm thinking of this moment happening, I'll just write that down. Like, I don't know. For example, if we were to use Skate Fire for an example, if we did something like, Etna and her friends are riding, like, was it not the trolley? What's the thing they ride up the mountain? Is it called a lift? I forgot.
Oh, I mean, like the little like wire trolley, yeah.
Okay, yeah. If they're riding it up the mountain, with their friends, and they reach there or whatever, and then I'm like, oh, okay, that's something that's gonna happen. And then the next beat is like, oh, they discover something up there. Like maybe I'll jot down something that I think Etna might say or think at that moment. Or maybe she'll be like,
wait, for the chapter beat?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So like you're like the type that would write more.
Potentially, like it depends, but sometimes if a piece of dialogue from a certain character comes to my mind, I'll jot that down within the chapter beats.
Yeah.
But initially, when I was doing that, I realized it because what was it? We're not the only people like looking at the chapter beats,
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty confusing for anyone else trying to look at it.
I don't like doing that too, because if it's like too set in stone, it gets really boring for me.
Exactly. So that's why I tried to, phrase it where it's like, oh, pretty loosey-goosey. Like, I might not even end up using this piece of dialogue. But I like writing down what I think in that moment. For me, it helps me. But
there was a lot of people, like that. So there's a lot of ideas that I would like have for like the story, I guess, or like, and it's usually like more like character moments or like character details, and if it's like plot relevant, like it needs to happen for the story to actually move, then like I would probably write it down somewhere, right? But if it's like a cool little like quirky thing, like, oh, I think it'll be cool if this character had this, or this character did this, I don't write it down anywhere. I don't have a habit of writing like jotting down ideas that come to me. And one is that, as you can see, my handwriting is fucking terrible. So like I don't, even if I write it down, I hate looking at it, and I'm probably just never gonna go back to notes in the first place. But just the concept of writing ideas down. I heard someone talk about it. Some like manga artist that like I looked up to said, I think it's the creator of Baki, talked about how if the idea doesn't stick with him, it wasn't a good idea in the first place. And this is completely like, like the creative process is different for everyone, but that like I kind of felt that I like understood that a little bit. So like there's ideas that I always think about. If I take a shower, if I'm like taking a walk and I look at the character, or like if I'm just working on the episode, I'm looking at the character, I would have an idea for the character that is always there. Like it's stuck with me, and it's like a canon. And then some ideas that I'm like, oh, this would be cool if this character did this, and then it just kind of disappears. It like never ends up coming to fruition. And I personally, when that happens, so far I've never regretted not jotting down an idea.
Huh. Okay.
So that is different for everyone, but I like the space that I give myself to squeeze in any other ideas I have at the moment.
Right. I think that's important. Having a little bit of flexibility and wiggle room, at least for our process. I don't know. There's other people that have to literally write down every single thing that happens.
Yeah.
They have to follow it like strictly, and I think that's okay too. It's just you got to figure out like what works for you, basically.
I mean, I feel like this will be a cool little thing to show our readers, right? Do you have any bombshells about that? Because I have a lot of story ideas that are canon now, that are in the published episodes, that I did not have until I wrote that episode.
Oh, okay.
So like, because of the space that I have in between, or like gaps I leave where I'm like, oh, this gap is too big and I need something for it to make sense, I would have to throw in something new, right? And the more I'm thinking, there's a lot. I have a lot of stuff that I did not have in initial concept that is in Lily Crown now. That was not there when I first came up with the idea. Yeah, I mean, this is a thing that I feel like I could say now because I have an answer for it. But Lilne's little crown here, right? Like, oh, I need a darker. Oh, that's a gross yellow. Hold on. So Lilne has her little like halo-looking crown, right? So the design I always have from the get-go, like this little like half like crescent like crown thing, right?
Yes.
Everyone in this world has a diadem crown that grants them like some superpower. It's just like a source of their power. Until I wrote episode 1 and submitted it to Webtoon, I had no idea what this crown was gonna do. I had stories for everyone, like Leo turning into like a weird like chimera lion thing, and King Brio that's in like episode like 14 right now. I had concepts for from the get-go. I did not have a finalized idea for Lil Nay's powers until I finished episode 1.
Dang.
So you could get away with some stuff, boys. Like
yeah, not that you're like per se winging it at all, but like, yeah, because I felt like initially the main point was that her running around with no powers was the most interesting part. Yeah.
But there definitely had to be an end goal, and did not have an end goal for at least this crown in mind. So sometimes hearing like what the author thinks is important versus like what the reader thinks is important is very different.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know. I look through comments a lot just to see like what readers are actually interested in versus like what I think is more interesting or like important in the story.
Yeah.
I have a lot of stuff. You'd think that like the main character would be like solidified, right? Before.
Yeah.
She has Lily has a little lamb. Lily has a little lamb. Lily has like a little like moment in the first episode where she's like showing her back, right? So she's in the bath and she just kind of like like this is like water, and she has like this big like scar on the back, on her back.
Yes.
Right? This was also kind of thrown in episode 1 while I was working on it.
Oh, you didn't like...
I did not have an idea for that.
Oh, you're just like, I want to give her a scar?
I wanted something of like a physical, like a visual of like, I don't know, something hinting at her past or whatever.
Right.
So people know now because it's like, oh, she was like mauled by a tiger or whatever, right?
Right.
That tiger did not exist until I wrote episode 1.
I see.
I did not have an idea for it. I didn't.
But I think stuff that comes on a whim...
No, exactly. It's fun.
It's fun.
It's fun and it sticks. I'm able to like make it... I'm able to squeeze in stuff where it does not contradict the story.
Yes.
So like throwing little details like this, I think deepens like characters and like the world.
Yeah.
And so for like stuff like that, I have also not regretted. I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
Because whenever I throw in an idea, I know that there's gonna be more that will come from it.
Yes.
So the scar on her back is gonna lead to more stuff, and it also led to stuff in episode 3, because there's a callback of like, oh, that I got hit and that hurt, but not as much as when I got this scar, and like that, you know, was a cool idea that I was like, yeah, fuck yeah.
That you can like...
That I did in episode 3.
Right.
And also leads to King Leo transforming into like a huge monster thing with claws, which also is reminiscent of like the scar in the back. So all the stuff tied in nicely. You think I thought about that?
Yeah, you think it was
you would
like...
think I would like had ideas for that.
Right.
I did not. It just came to me. So you don't. So okay. So what I'm going with, what I'm trying to say with this is that you don't have to have the whole story figured out to start it.
Yeah.
You do not need to have the whole story like written, like completely, like fully out.
I think
to start the story.
No, but you should have an idea for the ending.
Yes. Ending should be clear. Ending should be clear.
Yeah, I think you can, like, I don't know, come up with stuff along the way, but I feel like you should...
You need the...
idea how you're gonna end it.
You need the skeleton before you add the meat.
Yeah.
So you need...
Excuse me?
You need the base, like, skeleton of, like, head is, like, how it starts, and then to the toes, which is the ending. And you should, like, kind of have an image of, like, what's here and what's here. And then you could just give this fucking skeleton a bunch of arms if you wanted to. If the story gets bigger and bigger.
Yeah, give him a tail or something.
Give fucking...
This
is a rat tail.
Yeah, gross ass rat tail, yeah.
Hold on, that's Stegosaurus. Stegosaurus.
So for my story, I can't really talk about...
Oh, because you're doing a fucking mystery story.
Yeah, so I can't really say anything right now about like in a way that you had what was it, the process for yours.
Yeah,
I can't really talk about mine in that way right now without giving anything away, so I'm just not going to.
That's fair.
Yeah,
I mean, you could talk about how your initial characters were different, right?
Yeah, I mean the initial like story per se was incredibly different.
Yeah.
And when I find old sketchbooks of mine from like early high school and things, and I'm reading about like concepts that I had that I wrote down, I'm just like, oh Lord, this is such a different story. Like I think initially I wanted like the characters to be some sort of a mafia gang or something.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be like a gang kind of story.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no, it's absolutely not right now. Yeah, so when I read stuff like that, I'm like, oh, okay, this is interesting. I also did, what was it? One of our projects I mean, if you go to art school, this is where you can do things like this. One of our projects, I took the opportunity to use my characters for.
Yeah.
We did that animatic for that one class, and I actually like used a version.
Yeah. Don't be afraid to reuse characters.
Oh, that too.
Professionals do that.
Yeah.
There's that like famous post of like Anya from Spy X Family.
Oh yeah.
Where like they're like the same author had like a one shot where the main character literally looks like a high school version of Anya.
Oh, I actually didn't know that was real. Oh my god.
No, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's real. Yeah, there's like a grown up version of Anya with like the same like weird headpiece,
right,
like the little like cat ear like the cone things.
Yeah.
And like the school outfit's the same too.
Oh wow. Okay,
yeah.
That's why I mean
the sleeves and stuff are the same.
I do see a lot of fan art of her as like a teenager, but
I mean I feel like a lot of the people who do that aren't aware.
Oh, okay.
Of that, like one shot, because I wasn't until like I saw it on Twitter.
Right.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So there's a lot of professionals that do that.
Yeah. It makes sense too, honestly. Yeah. Oh, in what was it? In the last episode of Escape Fire, we added in Lilene, right?
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Aaron.
You added Aaron, yeah.
Yeah. So that was cool that we got to do that. It's little Easter eggs. To our newer series.
Yeah. Back then, I didn't even have her like Lilene's like character design fully down.
Oh yeah. No. Yeah.
Yeah.
Aaron looked a little different, but maybe that's also because you were drawing him.
I mean, yeah. I think Aaron is a lot more solidified though. Because that's also a thing. Oh, this does not look like her. It's okay. What does her outfit look like? She has like that weird like golden sleeve thing.
Yeah, that's right.
Oops.
Yeah, that's more like it.
Yeah. Okay, so back when I drew her in Skate Fire, obviously it would make sense for a random girl in college to have a fucking floating glowing halo. So I gave her like a necklace.
Oh.
With the crown design.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you go back and see like you could double check because I didn't have the design for her like finalized where she's just like right, and then she's like, okay, I'll see you at class, and she's just kind of like running off. She's like, hold on. This is stuff that I don't have to draw, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Or she has a sweater on and she's like running off. Her necklace has something like this. So initially, her crown was like a hexagon, kind of like this.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was like a hexagon shape.
Oh, I do remember that.
Yeah, do you remember this?
That. Yeah, when you would draw stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I had initially it was a hexagon because it's 6 sides, and then so is a lily flower.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah. So I thought I was gonna go with like a 6 related design, and that's also why her little tonfas from grandma are also like hexagonal shaped.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. They're like.
Are tonfas not usually?
Tonfas are like round. They're like.
Oh.
They're like rounded sticks.
I
so
see.
like giving them like a little like edge, making it like a. This is also like like a 6 theme. Was like a idea I was playing around with.
Ah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's still kind of there, but it's mostly gone.
Right.
But keeping with her like lily thing, and it was also a pain in the ass to like maybe if I made a 3D asset of like this shape, it might have been a little easier. I'm probably gonna try to do that with her crown at some point.
Oh, make like a 3D asset.
Yeah, but yeah, the little like 666 thing going on. Yeah, because if I looked it up properly, like I think there was something along the lines of like 6, or 6 is being like tied to like Aphrodite or something, like something that of like femininity was like tied to like 6.
Okay.
Like 666 or something instead of like an actual like devil thing.
Right.
So yeah. Don't worry about it because it didn't lead to anything.
Yeah.
But it's definitely like a concept that's still like in her design in some places.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But I guess I could talk about this.
Yeah, if you have any ditch ideas.
Yeah, I do. So like for some reason, there was a moment in time, before I really constructed the story properly for mine, that I had my 2 main characters wear kilts for their uniform.
Right.
Instead of, I mean, Amber wears like shorts technically, and then Wes wears like pants. Oh, I could try it. Wait. I'm sorry, this does not look like Amber. I'm like trying to doodle him right now. Sometimes that happens. Okay. So, like Amber wears the shorts version of the boys' uniform, which is just like what I designed. It's just like maroon uniform color with like black plaid, basically.
Right.
Speaking of like assets, I have like an asset for the plaid design, which makes doing it so easy.
Oh, bro, yeah.
On Clip, yeah. But anyway, so initially for some reason I wanted to have them wear kilts because I thought like the visual of like, I don't know, I think it's like similar to yours with someone fighting in a skirt was like cool. And I was like, oh, kilts are a uniform, right? I mean technically,
there's like cultural significance
to them,
like Scottish, yeah.
Yeah, and I wanted to go that route, but then I realized the difficulties with doing it that way, so I just changed it to shorts. Maybe I will do a story with kilts or something. I feel like I would have to do a lot of research culturally, because I wouldn't want to like disregard them in any way. Because
did you do any research?
For what?
For like, do you remember when you like initially started?
I definitely did.
Damn.
What do you mean, damn?
No, because I barely did any.
Oh, research?
I didn't do any research.
Oh, I mean, I did a little bit about like, gosh, I really can't. Actually, I can't say anything.
Oh, you mean like just
yeah. There's like nothing
plot-wise?
I could talk about that like doesn't give away something of the plot, especially with like even when I like want to talk about like research or anything.
There is.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I shouldn't. I don't mind sharing spoilers, but I probably should. I had to stop myself. Yeah, I know. Like, but I understand people who are like, I don't want to share spoilers, and for me, if anyone asks, I would probably just tell them. Or I'll just flat out tell them that I don't have it thought out yet already, or not.
Right.
So there is another aspect that I kind of wanted to like talk about gently, which is how you want your story to be read, right?
Oh. Okay.
So like spoilers is one thing, right? We're like enjoying the story without knowing where it's going is definitely like a positive. Like people want that.
Oh yeah.
Obviously. But I feel like I'm definitely the type that doesn't suffer from like knowing spoilers of stories usually.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like there is like a fun of like, oh shit, is this true? And then like reading or like experiencing the story just to see if it is true or not.
Yeah.
So I see a lot of people complain about like, oh, like my story was spoiled, or like don't tell anyone. And I feel like there is value in that. But for me, like when I'm writing it, I kind of don't care if people spoil my story. Because I don't know, I think the journey to that point is the most fun. the like most of the stories that I'm like in love with like to this day were stories that I was spoiled on.
But that's why you got into them.
But that's why I got into them. Yeah, so I feel like there is value in like some value in like knowing spoilers of some stories, or like I don't know. And there is for you yours is a mystery story, right? So it's like kind of like not like a slow burn, but like you give information little by little.
Yeah.
For me, I'm taking a lot from like action shonen, from like Shonen Jump and stuff, and I like my story. I write my story in a way where it will be most enjoyable reading weekly.
Yeah.
So like my initial what comes in priorities for like writing for me is if it like how fun it is to read on a weekly basis.
Yeah. It's
like
so important.
Yeah. And that's something that I feel like a lot of people don't talk about, that and people don't really take advantage of in like Webtoon or like webcomics is what do you call it, like hook, like really good hooks and like cliffhangers at the end of the like chapters are like, you know, like good for retaining attention, but also really fucking fun to write.
Oh, absolutely.
I love, like, I feel like the more episodes I write, the more I enjoy thinking of where I want to leave the reader on for this week.
Yes.
And how also like to make that payoff feel like earned or whatever, to like add as much like what kind of content like I should have beforehand for this episode, like what kind of information I should give, and then what bombshell to give them.
What to leave them off with.
Yeah.
To remember for that week.
And at least for me, what do you call it? There is like, you know, like value in like slow burn and like just kind of like whatever, right? But like they're in like reality and not like, what do you call it? Like clickbaiting people.
Yes.
But there I think there's a balance. There's a balance.
Yeah, I think there has to be. There has to be a balance.
Like Skate Fire was a little different because it was more based in reality, and there was a timer in the story. There was like a countdown until like a certain event.
And they were trying to stop this event from happening.
Yeah, so it was kind of hard to throw in extra like content
because we felt like we were on that timer.
Yeah, and the story had to be streamlined, and
it had to keep moving.
And for season 2 at least, I had to like clean up the plot. Like so I could tie a neat bow at the end. I had to like clean up everything. So there was a lot more what do you call it? Making ends meet for the plot, rather than like actually like introducing new ideas and concepts.
Yes.
And Lily Crown's like a world, at least for me, I'm pretty happy with the fit, because I am able to kind of introduce new concepts, and I could just come up with stuff like, you know, like the scar on like Lily's back and stuff. And I have the space to breathe, let that idea breathe, and have the reader like look forward to it, like how I would like resolve said plot point or whatever. So that was definitely a positive, and something I learned from working on Skate Fire, where I made a world that was a lot bigger, so I could introduce like cool ideas like this and then work toward it at the pace I wanted.
Right.
Versus like this artificial pace that I kind of set for ourselves in the beginning, and then it ended up kind of like strangling us at the end.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit, because it's like, oh fuck, but there's a timer, and it wouldn't make sense for them to be like, oh, we're gonna go get like hamburgers and fries for one episode. We can't do like shit like that, because it's like, bro, the volcano's gonna destroy the city. Like,
yeah, and it felt like
the stakes were, I don't know, like it didn't match with like with this type of storytelling that we could have gone with, I guess.
Yeah, it's different if it was like a video game where you can like, I don't know, you know, like like a Breath of the Wild, for example.
Yeah, where you're just kind of like slacking off, but like, you know, there's like, oh, but there's like a looming presence in the background.
Yeah, but you can still do side quest after side quest and not really feel that guilty.
Yeah, versus like
when you're like reading something,
or versus like Majora's Mask, where there's like a fucking time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Or like that's a fucking timer, and if you're just kind of like goofing off and you're like, I'm gonna collect the cuckoos, and then the fucking moon explodes.
Yeah.
You know, like then you're like, what the like.
Play the song
playing that is fine, but like watching someone do that, you're like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
So like there's definitely like a balance.
There's hacks though, not hacks, but like so you play the song time backwards, make the world go slower. Fuck. Okay.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm sorry.
No, it's.
I turn into a Zelda nerd. Not really, but.
Yeah, I'm gonna draw you in that.
No, the green Triforce
the
t-shirt.
Green Triforce t-shirt.
With the cargo pants. I had
that was you.
Shirt. I had that shirt.
That was literally you.
I was that type of Zelda person back in the day.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good. I mean.
No, it's.
It's pretty bad.
Look where you are now.
Look where I am now. They made fun of me.
I still make fun of you.
Oh my god. Okay. No, I was bad. It was really bad. When I was in middle school, like people, I guess because all I talked about was Zelda, people used to call me Zelda, and
Whoa.
I know I didn't take too fondly to that though.
Yeah, you would get upset, so it's like
I would, and they thought I liked it. They're like, "Oh no, you like this," and I'm like, "I don't actually." So, anyway,
yeah, I like Winnie the Pooh, but don't call me Winnie the Pooh.
yeah, because you weren't constantly talking about Winnie the Pooh, I'm sure. You weren't like, hey, Daigo.
I mean, that's true.
Yeah, they're like, oh, hey, Daigo, what do you think about this? And you're like, oh, this reminds me of that one Winnie the Pooh episode where...
That's the shit you would do? Oh, God.
Yeah, or if they were trying to talk about, like, I don't know, a new video game that came out, I'm like, oh, but this isn't as good as Ocarina of Time.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, I was that type of person.
Holy shit.
It was bad. It was pretty bad. It's pretty bad. It's okay. Speaking of I don't know, inspiration for like writing or creating or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Video games was a huge inspiration to me too as a kid. I mean, not just like manga and anime, but I loved like RPGs and shit too. I mean, in Zelda games, for example. I mean, I pulled a lot of inspiration from that kind of stuff, and I don't think that's a bad thing either. Like, really, you can pull inspiration from anything. You don't have to necessarily pull inspiration from comics because you're making a comic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely.
There's
I mean, taking inspiration is like, it's hard to be like, oh, to explain the balance, right? Like, because like, some people take ideas and then you're like, wait a minute, this is just that. This is plagiarism.
Oh yeah.
And then, you know, some ideas are just like, okay, I did this, but literally no one knows what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to think. Cause I don't know, the famous ones are like, I don't know, like Akira, where like Katsuhiro Otomo, like the creator of Akira, was just like, oh, I liked Gigantor as a kid, so it's literally Gigantor. Everyone's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Oh yeah.
Literally, what the fuck are you talking about? It's like,
Yeah.
no, see, like I took this from this, and it's like, okay, but nobody knows. Nobody made that connection. But you know, like a lot of like big stories end up doing so.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Your favorite story is probably taken from something else also.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you're not doing like a Black Swan or something, right?
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, Black Swan's also not being sued.
Oh well, yeah. I guess,
You know,
yeah.
You like JoJo.
I do.
You finished reading part 6, right?
I did.
There's a character in part 6 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure where their backstory is literally just holes.
Oh.
From Louis Thatcher.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just holes. It's just, there's a villain backstory of a guy who's like, I was walking down the street and then a pair of basketball shoes fell on my head, and now people are saying that I stole them, and now I'm sent to juvie. Like, it was like, that's literally just holes. No twist or anything like that whatsoever. It's just holes. How are you not getting like cease and desist, like Araki? Like, no one's roasting you for this at all. I'm just like, oh haha, you know, it says JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Just the JoJo team.
Just So I don't know, like stuff like that where it's like, oh, this person got away with this. It's like, I don't know, I can't say, but taking some inspiration should be fine. Don't point fingers. Don't come to us at being like, oh yeah, well they said I could take this story and then make it mine.
Oh yeah, no.
But I don't know. Do you have anything that you took from like your favorite stories?
I do.
You do?
I do. No. Okay. No, the reason why I say, oh God, is because we were talking about getting a cease and desist right now. Not that I would for this, but it's something that, like, I remembered. Do you remember? But, like, no, I do. Oh, sorry.
Oh, fuck! Yeah, okay.
No, so, we talked, I even drew Maka. I drew Maka Alberta from Soul Eater. But I guess really niche, obscure Soul Eater knowledge is that, Soul Eater Evans.
The main character.
The main freaking character has an older brother named Wes that has only showed up in the manga. He hasn't shown up in the anime, and he was the inspiration for naming my OC Wes.
He looks like a fucking dweeb.
Yeah, and I've actually had a fair share of comments where people are like, he
really?
kind of looks like Soul Eater, and I'm like, no.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm like, oh no. But, like, that's really the inspiration behind him.
Yeah.
So it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing.
No, it's not.
He's a different character, obviously. He's not supposed to be his older brother. I just took the name and was inspired by the visuals, and I think that's fine to do that.
Yeah. You know what? Oh, fuck. I forgot who did this. Or if this was, like, an actual thing in general.
Yeah.
But maybe we could do this and post it on, like our social media.
Yeah.
Where it's, here, I'm drawing it out right now. So it's like a 3x3 square, like up here.
Oh yeah.
Where like you have like your main character, like whatever character you have here, like this is like your OC, like from your story in the middle, and then 1, 2, like in the squares around this character, you will put the characters that inspired said character.
Oh, that is interesting.
Yeah. Because each character that I have definitely takes from like at least 3 or 4 characters that I've liked when I was like younger.
That's
from different stories.
Yeah.
And I think this will be interesting and like also a good visualization of like what character
like inspired.
Yeah.
It's also interesting to see like if you were inspired by something non-conventional.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, or well, I say that, but I mean like something that wasn't from like a comic
or a piece of media in general, right? Like I feel like movie characters and stuff, like sure you could take from that, but like like there's some that are like, oh, this is like
the amount of mangaka that like could put Mads Mikkelsen in that freaking box though. It's pretty funny. But
yeah,
the man that's inspired thousands by his face alone, I think, Mads Mikkelsen. But
instead of like characters though, I feel like there are some stuff that you've seen in media that you've consumed that you're like, oh, this is great. I'm gonna like, I kind of want to write like this.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
What was the most recent thing?
Where you're like, oh, where I was like, oh, I kind of want to write like this.
Or like, yeah, like, oh, this is a cool.
Wow, that's a good question.
You know what I mean? Because like, I feel like every comic creator. Mm-hmm. When they read like Chainsaw Man for the first time, they're like, everyone was probably like, fuck.
I want to do this. Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah, for sure.
Right, or like Look Back. When I read Look Back, I was like, oh fuck, god damn.
look, as people that went to art school, because we went to like art school for 8 years. Went to 4 years of art school for high school, and then 4 years of college. Something like Look Back hits really hard. Especially that we're also doing art right now.
Yeah.
Something else that hit hard was Blue Period. I do read Blue Period.
I have to read Blue Period, yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes I'm like, oh, I could write an art school story. I definitely, like, sometimes I get, like, inspiration or, oh, like, I want to write something like this, too.
Yeah.
Is that what I had most recently? Maybe. Where I'm like, oh, I kind of want to write something like this. Yeah. Maybe I would say it's that Blue Period for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe not even just like like I want to write something like this, but like just enjoying a story, but like from like a creator's perspective.
Oh yeah.
Was I really liked the new season of Stranger Things.
Oh god, yeah, it was really good.
It was good, and also what do you call it? The thing that I think made it good, because that's also really fun to think about.
Oh yeah.
As like as a creator is what kept me interested in Stranger Things was how they introduce new characters, and the new characters are actually like really cool and interesting.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
they have a unique way of doing that.
yeah, because I think there's like a safe way of just showing the same characters and then just doing the same, like doing a story, like a different adventure with the same characters.
Mm-hmm.
Is like one way of doing like a season of a show. But like I like how they have like, I think it's a risk to introduce new characters late in the game.
It is.
Like that, especially like ones that played like such a big role. And then I don't know, like I feel like there's like, if it's a dud, it could like harm your story.
Oh yeah.
Like when I fucking when this little boy right here, Naruto, like I feel like me and a lot of friends dropped Naruto after Shippuden.
Oh yeah.
Like after they did the little time skip and they grew up. They introduced characters like Sai and shit.
Oh.
And I did not like any of the new characters.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the reasons why I gently dropped it for a little bit. Because I wasn't a fan of the new characters. You know what I mean?
That makes sense. Yeah. I wasn't even big into Naruto, but I remember I struggled with watching Shippuden because I was like, I don't like this new character.
Yeah. Well, especially when they're like kind of replacing another character.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So you're like, oh fuck, why'd they do this? I dropped fucking I dropped X-Files because they replaced Mulder, like one of the main characters. Like he was like abducted by aliens, and then like this other guy came to replace him, and then I was like, okay, I'm not.
You're like, okay, I'm done with this.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. Yeah.
Like the guy wasn't like a bad character at all, but like there is like, I don't know.
Right.
You need to keep upping the stakes, especially for characters too.
Yeah.
So when you introduce a new character, there has to be a big impression or like a good impression.
Yeah. Big and good. Yeah.
I think either works, because if it's a terrible fucking character but like they're wrecking shit and they're like demanding your attention, I think it would still keep the audience's attention if you do it in the right way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I totally get what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Do I have an example? No, not really. But I don't know. There is like, I think you could get away with stuff like that. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no idea how to wrap this up.
Well, I think we
talked about a lot of stuff. So yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, yeah, I think we talked a lot about at least our writing process, which I think firsthand when it comes to like making something like a comic, you need to kind of sit down and figure that out.
Yeah.
I mean, drawing is a whole nother conversation, right? But
oh yeah, we could have since we could screen record, I might do like a video where I just show my visuals.
Oh yeah.
I'll screen record from Clip Studio to show like how I work. Because that's a completely different like video altogether.
Yeah, it is.
And then you could show yours, I guess.
Yeah, no, that could be fun.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do like a short one.
Yeah.
Original idea.
Yeah.
Short little thingy to show our process. Sure.
Yeah.
Oh my god, you're freaking Anya. That's so funny. Why does she have flippers?
I don't know what her shoes look like. I don't even know if she probably has socks. I don't know why I give her like flesh.
No, I think she wears tights, doesn't she?
Oh, okay, yeah. But like it's gonna be it's white.
Girl, that's so funny.
You've been saying that a lot lately.
What?
Girl,
I don't know why I do that. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I call you bro.
You do?
A lot.
Bruh.
Bruh. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. I think that looks. She looks like a fucking firefighter.
She does.
This is not. She looks like a firefighter.
She does. Do you like my Lilith?
Oh.
As we're wrapping this up.
Oh.
I really struggled with her halo. I don't know what it would look like from that angle.
Oh, that is okay. Okay. I'll gently touch on that.
Yeah.
I was watching this interview with the author of Bleach,
Yeah.
and something that he said really stuck with me, where when he designed Ichigo, like the main character, he tried to like design a character that was very like on purpose like very hard to draw, so like only he can draw.
Oh.
And apparently he also struggled with him. So it took him like a good 2 years until he also got used to drawing Ichigo.
Dang. Wait, that's really funny.
Yeah, so there's like aspects in the character design where he was like, yeah, there's details that I like. I make it so like only I could draw this character.
I mean,
so
I
I low-key kind of take that in some designs.
That's, I mean, I like that. I do like that.
I like that, yeah.
On the other hand, I do want people to make fan art.
No, exactly.
So it's trying to find like the balance.
Yeah, I think okay. Oh, I mean, yeah, like I feel like characters that are visually like, you look at a character design and you're like, okay, that is definitely this character. I think it's very important.
Oh yeah.
And I definitely that's something that I keep in mind when I draw like or design characters for the story.
Right.
So like I'm really happy with how the main trio came out. Last 2 streams I've only been drawing Lone, but the other 2 are also like character designs that I'm pretty like proud of. Lone though, like her halo and how her hair works are 2 design aspects I definitely was like, I'm gonna make it so it's like there's like they have their own rules.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be kind of hard for people to draw.
Yeah, I like that. Though.
So I definitely took that from Kubo. Kubo.
Our man, Kubo. We say mangaka by their names like a lot.
Yeah.
So that's
Kubo's artist of
the guy who made Bleach. Yeah.
And also like what do you call it? Karna's hair. I also don't know what the fuck is going on with Karna's hair.
Oh.
People are like, oh, it looks like Carnation. I'm like, I'm so glad people like figured that out.
I think you made it obvious when you show her from the back.
Yeah. But like, if people were to ask me like, how does her hair work? Like, is it like braids or is it like curls? I have no fucking clue.
I would say it's like curls, right?
But like on top, like they're
like just like curls like a flower. I don't know.
It looks like a sea anemone. Like hair doesn't work like that.
Listen.
I'm probably not the one that's supposed to say that, but like hair doesn't work like that.
It's a character. It can.
Yeah, exactly. No, like obviously like creative liberties.
Right.
But like if someone were to like corner me and be like, okay, you need to make like a 3D model of how her hair looks. I do not know how.
Or picture someone trying to cosplay. How would they do
that? That is exactly what I'm saying.
How would they handle that? I'm curious. I'd have to like ask somebody.
Exactly. I feel like that's also part of the fun though of like how people will figure out the
how
characters,
to craft the hair.
Like how they would rationalize these character designs.
Yeah. Is
also part of the fun. So yeah. I do want people to make fan art of our characters though.
Oh yeah.
So
please.
Maybe we could like make a tag. Should we do like a draw this in your style thing sometime?
We should. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
We should do a draw this in your style. Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, we draw our characters like every day.
Every day.
But like they are fun to draw.
Yeah, Karna's actually pretty easy to draw. Okay, before we go,
yes.
You have your 3 characters.
Yes.
Oh, I mean, okay. Maybe we could do this next time.
Okay.
I'm curious about like us drawing like our characters and like our comics and the process for that. So I was just curious, but I feel like there should be a visual like to go with it. So that's why I feel like I'm gonna ask that like for next time. But characters from like in order from hardest to easiest to draw.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, yeah, we should do like a proper list.
Yeah. For me it's kind of complicated.
Oh, me too.
But
yeah, and I'm also like, oh, this character hasn't shown up yet.
Also that. But I mean like probably like main cast like easiest.
Right, main cast. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that would be cool, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll probably touch on this topic next time. If anyone has any questions, leave it in the comments and we'll probably do a question episode sometime.
Yeah.
Where we answer
a Q&A.
a Q&A, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll ask questions on like Instagram and stuff too.
Yeah, we could do maybe another live Insta Live or something.
Oh, okay, yeah. Maybe we could try streaming live sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll figure
We'll
that
do
out.
a few episodes, see how many people are actually interested in these, and then possibly do like a stream.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
So that's it for now.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Thank you for watching. It's another hour and 15-minute episode.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah. Hope it was of help
Yes.
to some people.
Oh, it will be.
Okay. Well, that's cool. Okay. Well, see you guys next time.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Oh, boy.
Oh, bro.